Hey bakers, it's almost Valentine's Day, so I thought I would put together a quick video to show you one of my favorite desserts that everyone thinks is a restaurant only, which is a really easy treat you can make at home, creme brulee.
Hey, before we get into the demo, can you do me a favor? Can you look below? If you like this video, hit a thumbs up, maybe tap subscribe, and hit the bell while you're at it so you can always make sure you get the newest video.
So here's what I've got for ingredients. In the pot, I have 2 cups of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a pinch of salt. Off to the side here, I have 4 egg yolks, 1/4 cup of sugar, and we'll need a little bit of vanilla extract at the end.
So the first thing we need to work on is bringing this cream to a boil. I'm going to stir just a little bit to keep that sugar from burning to the bottom of the pan. Right, so now while that mixture is boiling away, or getting ready to boil, I'm going to put my eggs and my sugar in a small bowl, and I'm going to whisk them together right away. It's really important to whisk them together right away, otherwise the eggs and the sugar will react and will cook the egg yolks. Okay, my milk, or cream rather, has come to a boil. So I'm going to pour it slowly over my egg yolk mixture while whisking it. Okay, that's as far as I need to go with that. And then I'm going to add my vanilla extract. Just about a 1/2 teaspoon or so is fine. And that's the custard. I'm going to pour the custard into this pitcher, and on my counter apparently. That way it'll be easier to pour into my ramekins. Now what I've got set up here is 4 ramekins in a baking dish. It doesn't really matter what your baking dish is. It can be a little pan like this. It can be a roasting pan. It can be a cake pan. It doesn't really matter. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour this custard into my ramekins. I'm going to try to pour it evenly. You could also use a ladle if you wanted to. Look at that. Perfect. All right, those are full. Now, this is a really important part. These need to bake in a water bath. But if you're going to add water to your water bath, it needs to be hot water. So you can run hot water out of the tap. It doesn't have to be from a kettle. We need to fill this at least halfway up in order to cook properly. My oven is preheated to 350 on the dial, and it's going to be a flat oven, no convection. Carefully add this in. All right, I'm going to bake that for about 30 minutes, then I'll come back and check.
So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to just gently touch the surface of this creme brulee. It should feel a little bit springy and not at all liquidy. See how it just kind of is a little bit boingy there? It's a good word, isn't it? Boingy.
Okay, so the creme brulee is done baking, but I'm gonna let it sit on the stove for a little while and cool so I can touch it with my fingers. Otherwise, it's really hot.
So now the creme brulee will go in the fridge overnight and be ready to serve tomorrow. All right, so here's a few tips and tricks about creme brulee that you should know to make your production schedule a little bit easier. Number one, the custard can be made ahead of time. You can make it a day ahead, make it 2 days ahead. It'll actually hold in the fridge for up to a week or so. Number two, you can bake the creme brulee ahead for a couple of days ahead. So if you're making it for a special occasion, let's say a Friday or Saturday night, you can go ahead and bake that on Tuesday or Wednesday. Again, it'll hold in the fridge up to a week or so. Probably wouldn't go beyond that. The third thing you should know about making creme brulee ahead of time is that if you're using a cold custard and pouring it into your ramekins and baking it from cold temperature, it'll take a little bit longer to bake. It depends on the thickness of your ramekins. Could be as little as 5 minutes. It could be as long as 15 minutes. So go ahead and check in those small intervals and make sure it's done.